Hi, this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News. Every once in a while I'll get an email or a message on Facebook from people asking questions. Sometimes they're industry related, sometimes they're gear related, sometimes they're weird. Like, why would I know how to clean cat dew out of carpeting? I don't know. But some of the questions are pretty good, and I wanted to address one today. I've had this come up two times in the last week, so for the two of you who sent this in, thank you. The question is regarding playlists that couples put together in advance, where they put together a huge playlist and basically say, stick in this playlist. Don't go anywhere else. Don't play requests. Don't play anything from your selections. It's our 200-300 songs selected. How do you handle that? Well, first off, the way I do this, when I'm meeting with my couples, one of the things I like to talk about is what they want the outcome of the dance part, of the party part of the night. What's going to be important for them? What do they want the guests to remember? How do they want the feel to be? And really to help them think through that process, because sometimes they don't think through the process too terribly much. Sometimes they do. As an example, one couple, we had this conversation and what she wanted to do, or what she wanted her guests to take out of it. And she had the list. Actually, she had asked when we met, can I make the list of all the songs I want played? Okay, now let's talk about that part. So we talked about the outcome. Well, her outcome is that she wanted good music played. Well, of course we can do that, because they were going to be draining 12 kegs of beer amongst their 200 guests. They were going to drink that much beer. And she didn't care about dancing or not. She was really interested in having good drinking party music for that 12 keg thing. Well, after the first couple of kegs, even though I stuck with her list, we were dancing because I could have sat there and farted on the microphone and they would have danced to it because they were that loaded. But that was her desire. Sometimes when we start talking about that, they'll be like, well, I want the guests to dance and I want to have a great time and I want them on the floor and I want them to remember how much fun we had on the dance floor. Perfect. Had that situation, and then I took some of the songs she had suggested and I picked out a couple, and I played those on my laptop. I played it, and it's like, okay, here's the first song. Now I'm just trying to envision how the guests will dance to this song. Will they dance? Well, no, it's not fast enough for that. Okay. How about, will they slow dance to it? Well, is it no, it's not, because it was one of those moderate kind of things. And then the light started to go on with the bride. She goes, oh, wait a second. That's really not going to work. She looks at her list. There's really quite a few of them on my list that really aren't going to work very well. So it worked to have that conversation. Another thing I like to bring up is that there's going to be her and, usually the bride and her friends have hit a lot of weddings. They might have hit 6 or 7 or 8, 10 weddings maybe in the course of a year and a half, because all of her friends are getting married. She's tired of traditional wedding music. Now, how many in her crowd are tired of it, especially in that first 2 hours of the dance? You'll have a lot of people who are in their 40s with young children, and they probably want to get their little ones out and teach them to do the YMCA, or they want to have their little ones out there to do the birdie dance or the chicken dance, whatever it's called in your area. As parents of young children, it's kind of cool to get them out there to do these things. My little girl, when she was pretty young, she was out there doing the electric slide with us and doing a very, very good job with it, and that was kind of cool. Now, for the brides who don't want to hear that, there might be some guests that are in their 40s and 50s that only get to one wedding a year. And that's what I talk to them. It's like there's people who get to one wedding, and they know that some of the traditional songs played at a wedding are this, 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 and this, and they might be really looking forward to those songs because they can't hear them anywhere else unless they're going to play them at home. But it's not as much fun playing the YMCA at home or playing the cha-cha slide at home as it is at a wedding dance. So to kind of give the bride, just to kind of help her understand that some of the guests might be looking forward to this, and that is one of the big reasons why I like to make sure that they are open to suggestions. Now, the idea that they've got, if you have the list and you've talked to them, she wants this is what she wants, and she knows, you give her kind of some scenarios of what's going to happen nicely. You never say, well, you're going to ruin your dance. No, you don't do that, because it could be that crowd is just going to be into that music. Maybe this type of music is really big with her family. It's possible. So it might be something completely different than what we play, and it may work. But so we have this, and we're going to be playing this list of music. The question comes okay, I've got guests who come up, and they're going to request songs. How do I handle the guests? Well, I've heard some DJs talk about, getting on a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight Bobby and Susie have picked all the songs out for your listening pleasure. Thank you. Enjoy. Yeah, that can happen. You can do that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I prefer to handle things more discreetly. And I have guests coming up and saying, hey, can you play this? And it's like, oh, tonight Bobby and Susie have taken a lot of time to put together a list of their favorite songs. and we want to make sure we're going to work through Bobby and Susie's favorite songs throughout the night, and hopefully that song is on the list, and then that just ends it completely because yeah, it's on the list, and boom, we're done. But it wasn't one of the songs that she had, and she really wants me to stick with this list. And usually the guests are like, oh, okay, and they will drift off. I've had times where I've had that conversation, from my standpoint, I was very humble and very servant-like with it, and not apologetic, but just laying it out there in a very, very nice way. And I understand completely. We know Susie, she likes her music. And they went and finished their cocktails, and 20 minutes later they were gone because what they were looking for wasn't going to happen. And that happens. So those are some of the things. When you're talking to the bride, finding out what she wants, what her outcomes are. Sometimes her list is exactly what she wants. Many times her list might be kind of what she wants, but her outcome that she wants for the dance floor is something different. You've got to find that out, and you've got to help her to have the most success and the best chance of getting that final outcome, whatever she wants. So just a couple of ideas for those big lists that we all get, and we'll still get those, and hopefully they won't cause too much trouble in your life. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News.